Good afternoon, everybody. Today I'm going to make a new recipe for me. It's kind of a combination of a couple recipes that I like. It's the way I cook my chicken marsala, which people love that chicken. So I'm going to show you how to cut that and how to cook it. But I took a different recipe, which is a Parmesan chicken that we really like, modified it, and I'm going to show you that. So we're going to start with a half a cup of breadcrumbs. In this case, I'm using panko. I just like panko. I'm going to use a quarter cup of Parmesan. And ordinarily, I would go to the store and I would get a block of Parmesan and grate it up. But for this particular chicken, I kind of like this canned Parmesan, which is usually just good on top of spaghetti or something. But
Get to cooking. I'm ready to eat. Just get
so
to cooking.
There's that, quarter cup of that, 2 tablespoons of cornmeal. And this is 1 tablespoon of seasoned salt and a half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Normally I don't use stuff like Italian seasoning. I like to use my own amounts of everything that's in there. But in Italian seasoning, it's a good mixture of marjoram, rosemary, thyme, oregano, sage. It's a good blend, so I kind of like it, so I'm going to use that this time. So I'm going to put that in there, and then the final secret ingredient is a pack of ranch dressing mix. Ooh, this is the spicy kind. I have to swap that out. This is good. This is good in several recipes, and that's why I have it. But I don't think it's going to be good in this one, so I'm going to swap it out. But I'm just going to take a pack of ranch dressing mix and dump it in there, mix it all up. Then I'll cut the chicken, dredge it through the mix, and then cook it. Now, Misunderstood is showing you my hinkle without a tip. And
What happened to the tip?
Misunderstood happened to the tip.
I broke it.
Yeah.
I broke
She
it?
used it as a screwdriver. I
Well, you should mount me some screwdrivers. You know, ladies have to have their own tools.
There's plenty of screwdrivers. Just don't use my
I know.
$80 knife as a
Sorry.
screwdriver.
I
have this little
$80.
Oh yeah, at
When
least.
did you buy that for? Okay, that's another story.
I've had this longer than I've had you, baby.
Well then, married to the knife.
This
Not
is
the wife.
a little handheld knife sharpener. It has a coarse side and a fine side. And before I cook, even if my knife is sharp, I'll take and run it through, pulling it toward me about 10 times. And I've already done it today, so I don't need to do it again. But the reason I do that is it puts a new edge on the blade, but it also, on a microscopic type level, it takes and aligns the metal like this. Because as you use it, the metal particles, or I don't even know what the word is, they get moved around. And so it's not as sharp. So if you can, when you see guys doing this with their chef's steel, most of the time they don't know what they're doing or why they're doing it. You have to do that just perfectly to get it right, which is why I like using something like this, because it's easy for the average person to just watch and keep it pretty level and do that. And it makes it cut so much better. So I always come down the edge here and cut that little bit of fat off and cut this bit of fat off. And just lay the knife at an angle and take that little bit off. And I'll take this little bit off here. I don't really need to take this off. It's not enough to worry with. But since I have a good sharp knife, I can do that and get a little bit of fat off of there. And then I have a good looking piece of chicken breast. And when I make my chicken marsala, people just love the way the chicken is cooked. So I have adopted that cooking method, and it works so well that I'm just going to have to show you. when you look at a piece of chicken breast, it's really thick over here and it's really thin over here. So the idea is to get the pieces as even, as uniform as possible. So what I do is I come up to about a third the way up the chicken breast, and I go ahead and cut that piece off. And there's one cutlet. And then this piece is so much thicker that what I'll do is very carefully hold it down, put this in the middle, and this is where a good sharp knife comes in handy.
Oh, wow.
And I cut that in half. And now,
how did you do that?
I have 3 pieces that are roughly the same thickness, so they'll cook at roughly the same rate, and they'll be good and so tender and juicy when they come out of the pan. So I'm heating up my skillet. Actually, this isn't a skillet, but extra virgin olive oil. Just gonna put some down, not a lot. And you can see that this is hot already by the way this is running. So you want to get this oil where it shimmers a little bit right before it starts to smoke. And I know that's kind of ambiguous, but you, right as it's starting to smoke is how hot you want to get it. So that when you put the chicken in, it starts to cook immediately. You don't want it to sit there in this oil. And here's all the cutlets of chicken after dredging them through the mixture that I just made. But I have this on medium-high heat, and I can tell by the way that the oil is starting to move in the pan a little bit that you can just see it. It just changes. And it's just about ready. And I will give it just a few more seconds, and then I'll start putting these chicken cutlets in, and we'll see what happens. We're gonna make these golden brown, and they'll be beautiful and so tender and juicy, and it's just gonna be awesome. So here we go. Let's try a small one first.
Not quite hot enough?
Not quite hot enough. So I'm going to give it a few more seconds. I'm going to make sure the oil moves its way around good. And we'll just wait this out for a few more seconds, and I'm going to try another one now.
Now you hear some sizzle. The sizzle is hot.
Sizzle is hot. The sizzle is hot. You're right. I don't know how you come up with these things.
Well, it is.
But
you can tell
you
it's
do.
hot from it sizzling.
And I'll put about half the chicken in here. That's 5 pieces. I have 4 more. And we're going to let that cook for about 3 minutes per side. Then I'm going to turn it over. And it cooks pretty quickly. And it is going to be delish. So the first side is about done, or the first batch is about done. And I'm about to remove them and put the second group in. And don't they look delicious? Okay, so this is the plate of the, I guess, what, 3, 6, 9 cutlets that we have. And
Don't get going tonight.
Turned out beautifully. And we have tasted it. And it's delicious, but I want to show you for sure. It's tender, it's juicy, it's flavorful.
I probably went too fast. I think I made people dizzy. Is it good?
Let's take another bite.
As our little great niece says, it's good.
It's so good. It is so good.
You're making me hungry. Now, will you make me some cabbage to go with it and some cauliflower
I'll get right on that.
And some sliced fresh tomatoes? See, that's a good recipe.
I'll get some tomatoes.
Your veggies and your cauliflower rice will be your veggie, and your tomato is your fruit, right?
Whatever you say, boss.
Let's get it. Get on it. Okay? Done? Stick your tongue out. Okay. Bye.
Well, looky here. Misunderstood has gone and made me a plate for lunch tomorrow. We use these Corningware pie dishes, and they're great because they keep all the juice in the bottom.
They don't spill.
And so tell me what all we have in here other than my awesome Parmesan crusted chicken.
And some awesome pinto beans that you made. You cut up the onion and cooked it with the onion.
Oh, yeah, with cumin and all kinds of good stuff. Good pintos.
Very good stuff. And fresh sliced tomato to go on the cauliflower rice. We're trying to do cauliflower rice instead of rice. So you can have your pinto beans and rice and tomatoes and some good old steamed cabbage with bacon. And
so you can have your rice and eat it too.
there you have it. Have at it.
Thank you.